Alright, let's see what else we can do. Maybe we can create a different kind of like fabric again on the body, like this part, just to have some more fun with it. I'm gonna go for BZ. I'm gonna use the stitch brush I created earlier. Load that brush. I have saved it earlier, so I can just load it. Doesn't really doing a good job. I think the strings might be too strong, and also sometimes it just repeated itself a lot. You can go to the stroke and go to modifiers and turn on the row to make it just repeat itself one after another. And probably need more intensity now. Take a look, right? Smaller size. If you see those chunky connections, you can turn the focal shift to something, or make that circle in the middle smaller by dragging focal shift up to get smoother results. Okay, I'll make my brush just a little bit smaller. So what I want to do is, oops, a little bit stronger than that, just a little bit smaller too. Drag from the base to the top. Oh, I'm also gonna press the L button to turn on lazy mouse, so that I can have this guy go up. Okay, then another one goes this direction. Okay, so to have some lines around the pocket, I do the same thing here. Okay. Now between those two lines, I can use a different fabric just to, you know, give it more variation. So let me let me actually isolate using solo, and let's see. For this part, we probably need to use, because it's already subdivided, we cannot just extract or use slice to, you know, give it a different polygroup. It's too late for that. So I'm not going to use masking this time. Go to mask. I'm going to change the stroke to curve. Curve masking is easier because you can just for a very specific contour, right? You can use curve masking to mask those lines very quickly. But somehow the operation takes time to calculate, so we have to wait for it to be done. Right, now I have masked that edge. Do the same thing here, holding down control and drag out the curve. Again, you know how to use curve, right? Curve brush. Sorry, the slice curve or clip curve I have showed you guys earlier. That's basically what those are. We're basically using curve to define the masking now. Right, and one more time for this part. Right, and then maybe just, you know, fix all others. I'm gonna use lasso this time because it's easier to use lasso for the rest of the geometry. Now I have isolated this part. Control I to reverse the mask. I'm gonna Control W to give it a group. Okay, let's do the same thing here on this guy. So again, use curve, right? I'm gonna mask. We can start anywhere we want. I'm gonna go from this edge first. And you can see the shadow part is actually going to the left side of the screen, right? And that's actually gonna mask this part, which is not what I want. So I'm gonna hold it down Alt before I release my button, my cursor, and now it's gonna mask the other side. Okay, so again, just repeat this process to mask the edge of this, you know, part, so that we can have a clean area that we can really apply a different texture or different noise, just to have some fun with it again. Now, if you want more detail, you do have to spend some more time, you know, on those different parts. lost a little bit of the detail here, and that. Okay, and I'm gonna change this to lasso again to fill in those parts that I don't really want, and Control I and Control W to give this part also a different group. Now we have the groups. We can now Control Shift to, or just go to move. Let's actually group those two guys together by Control Shift. Double click on that, and there. Control Shift, drag to reverse, and Control W to give them a group. Now what I can do is use W, Control click to isolate, to have, you know, those two masked area. And then I can go use noise again. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right here. Go to surface, noise. Now this time I don't have UV on this guy. Probably need to do that, but I'm just gonna settle down with the projection from this angle. Should be good enough. So I'm gonna click there and choose a different alpha. So we used this before on the shoulder patch. We can probably use it again, but I have a different one just to have some fun with it. Maybe this guy even, and see what happens. So let's take a look. I'm gonna use 3D, that's all I have now. Strength will be something higher. I'm gonna lower down the mix basic noise. And then let's see, strength. Strength can be maybe not as much. I'm gonna say okay. Alright, so now I have a different, again, texture here. Just to have some fun, I'm gonna use move and turn on symmetry, just push them in a little bit. So they're like dipping in a lot. Oh, before I do that, I can Control click to just blur the mask a little bit. Oh, probably not a good idea actually. Doesn't seem so good, so I'm just gonna drag them in a little bit. And then again, I'm gonna mask by noise, and then I'm gonna use inflate to inflate these guys out. Create a mask. Alright, now we have a different fabric on this part. Okay, now you can use this technique anywhere else to just give the fabric a little bit more detail on different parts. I don't quite like this part, actually kinda like that, so I'm gonna Control Z, go back, go to noise again, go to the angle here, and let's load this guy instead. And again, not mixing with any basic noise, strength can be stronger. I'm gonna go ahead and change it to the other direction, because that's the direction I want to go for. And maybe the size can be smaller. Right, I'm gonna hit OK. Alright, that seems better now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just apply to mesh and see what happens. That's actually not good. I'm gonna go mask by noise, right? Control Shift, click on it, Control I to invert it, and Control Shift to go back. You know what? I want to dip those guys in, so let's just do this. And then I'm gonna go for inflate inwards, this direction. Right. Cool. We create the mask. Now you can see we have some really cool detail being populated on the surface. Alright. Okay, so we have done a lot of detail on this part of the garment. We add a shoulder patch, we add buttons, belts, another detailed pocket, stitching, and also the fur collar and sleeve. Right? You can see we can keep adding and adding, eventually get a super detailed model. So this is some of the techniques that we can use to really bring more life to this geometry. Alright, that's gonna be it for this tutorial, and I hope that everything helps, and you can use and apply the same technique on other part of the body. I'm gonna say I'm not sure if we can do more. Of course there are a lot of other techniques. I just want to show you that, you know, the possibilities. So let's see if there are anything else. I'm gonna just say I'm gonna stop this tutorial. If I come up with something more, I can maybe show you later by recording a new tutorial after this. But for now, maybe that's gonna be it for this. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.